It was just past 2 a.m., the kind of hour where even the night seems to sleep. A soft orange glow spilled onto the wet pavement from a flickering streetlight. The rest of the city was quiet, the kind of quiet that only lives in the moments after the world exhales. A soda can rolled gently across the sidewalk, nudged along by the breeze, its hollow sound echoing far more than it should have. There's something about city streets at night. The loneliness feels louder, and the lights feel like the last remnants of stories that never finished being told. And that's where I saw her. An old woman, standing perfectly still beneath that flickering light, one hand on the handle of her wheeled grocery cart, the kind older folks often pull behind them, and the other hand clutched to her chest, like she was holding something invisible. She wasn't crying, but her stillness made the night feel heavier. Hello and welcome to Everyday Epiphany, where simple stories spark soulful insights. Sit back, enjoy the journey, and may it brighten your day. I didn't plan to be out that late. No one ever does, right? I was walking home after a long shift at the late-night diner. Third day in a row someone called out sick. My feet hurt, and my brain was foggy with the kind of tired that no amount of caffeine can fix. And there she was, standing under that trembling bulb like a memory frozen in time. I slowed, hesitant. You don't just walk past someone like that and pretend it's normal. "Ma'am?" I asked softly, trying not to startle her. "Are you all right?" She turned slowly, and I'll never forget her face. Creases that had seen decades, but eyes so alert they made the night itself feel seen. "Oh," she said, blinking. "I'm sorry, I just forgot what I came out here for." She smiled, a little embarrassed. "Isn't that something?" There was a long pause between us, filled only by the wind and the distant hum of the city's breath. I could have walked away, chalked it up to age or confusion, but something routed me there. I offered to walk her home. She lived just 2 blocks over in an aging brick apartment complex, with ivy crawling up the walls. We moved slowly, her cart rattling against the cracked sidewalk. Along the way, she talked, not in a rambly way, but like someone dusting off forgotten books on a shelf. She told me about her late husband, Joseph, how he used to walk her home every Friday night after church. That was our thing, she said, even when we didn't believe in church anymore. Then she paused and looked at me. "Sometimes I walk the route anyway," she admitted, "just to remember how it felt. I know it's silly." It wasn't silly. It was sacred. We got to her door, and she turned with that same half-smile. "You reminded me," she said. "I came out to remember. I guess I just forgot." She chuckled quietly at herself. I said goodnight, and she thanked me. But even as I turned to leave, something tugged at me, the way her voice echoed not just in my ears, but somewhere deeper, somewhere quieter. The next morning, I passed the same streetlight. The bulb had finally died, the ground below it now just another shadowy patch in a sea of gray. The city moves on fast, lights burn out, people fade into the margins. But I kept thinking about her, about how many people walk familiar streets trying to find something they once loved, or someone they once were. I started noticing more. The old man who sat on the park bench every Thursday afternoon with a chessboard no one ever joined. The woman in the coffee shop who always left a seat open across from her, her eyes fixed on the door. The teenage boy at the bus stop, sketching something furiously in his notebook, pages and pages filled with faces that weren't there. We all carry forgotten moments like that. Not quite grief, not quite longing. More like echoes. Whispers from the parts of ourselves we left behind because life kept asking us to move forward. But shadows don't disappear just because we stop looking at them. They walk with us. It reminded me of a passage I once read in The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. There's a line where Addie says, "What is a person, if not the marks they leave behind?" That hit me hard. Because we often think legacy means grand gestures, books published, awards won, plaques on walls. But sometimes it's quieter. Sometimes it's the route we keep walking long after a person is gone. The seat we still leave open. The smile we give a stranger who feels oddly familiar. Addie's whole story is about not wanting to be forgotten. But maybe, just maybe, it's also about remembering the people we've become, even as time pulls us in all directions. I think about that woman a lot. Not in a haunting way, in a grounding way. She reminded me that memory isn't always about accuracy, it's about meaning. We forget facts, dates, and appointments, but we remember the warmth of a hand in ours, the feel of sunlight through a window on a childhood afternoon, the weight of silence in a goodbye. There's a kind of magic in forgotten moments. They live under flickering streetlights and in late-night walks and quiet, ordinary pauses. So maybe tonight, as you turn out the lights, take a moment to sit with a shadow. Let it speak. You might be surprised what it says. Because sometimes, the most beautiful parts of life are the ones we almost forgot. Thank you for being here with us at Everyday Epiphany. If today's story touched your heart or sparked a thought, subscribe and stay with us. Your next epiphany might just be one story away.